Back's turn. Origi turn, shoots.
Build the dream in FIFA 20, pay less and get more, and use the code TVM at checkout for a bigger discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. Today, something a little bit different. So this was posted on Twitter, and it's actually from the EA forums. Now, what it is and what you're looking at is a statement or a Q&A, if you will, from one of the devs over at FIFA. And they've been picking up a few questions that people have been throwing around on Twitter and social media in general, and the feedback that they had from the game, and they are addressing said feedback. Now, there's a career mode section, there's an ultimate team section, I think there's a Volta section. Not quite sure whether there's a club section or not. I didn't scroll that far down, because ultimate team and career mode really the only two that even remotely affect me. Ultimate Team one is interesting though, because there are a few things in here which I know a lot of people have been questioning and complaining about, and saying, you know, the game is really good apart from these 3 or 4 things, and 2 or 3 of them are actually within this. So what I thought we'd do is, because everyone doesn't have access to Twitter, not everyone follows the same people, so not everyone's going to know about this, so I might as well just throw it into a video and have a look. Now, we will get to when the update will come, because it does actually mention in this sort of paragraph section Q&A thing when it should likely to come around. So the first question is, will we have any updates to the squad building UI, which is user interface? To the perception right now is that it takes too long to complete SBCs when compared to previous FUTs. Is there any chance of this being addressed in a future title update? Now, I personally have a few issues here or there with the new interface. The fact that it's just new. I think that's what it boils down to. There are a few things here or there that make me a little bit like, well, why didn't they just do this instead of this? The whole, you know, when you're building a team, for instance, I don't mean SBC, I mean your actual team, and you have, I don't know, a centre-back in there. Say I've got Jerome Boateng that I want to get rid of because he's too slow. I want to put in Hernandez. I have to send Boateng to the club, and then I have to go and get Hernandez. I can't just go swap and then go find a player and swap. That's what I'd really like. I'd like the ability to just swap players. But apart from that, to be fair, I think it's just a learning curve. I think people aren't used to it, and that's why people are complaining. But EA have acknowledged this, and the answer isn't a straightforward one. The answer is a very long-winded thing. Obviously, they said when they did the redesign of the squad screen, they had goals to unite the club, squad and transfer market functionality into the squad screen and simplify concepts that may have been challenging for players. Our intent was to maintain many of the power flows for our veteran players, but through closed beta and during early access, we heard feedback from players that these flows were not as efficient in some cases. As a result, we have some changes coming in a future title update that are focused on improving some of the key flows in the squad screen. What we have pinned to deliver is roughly below. So this isn't set in stone. This is the gist of what they want to implement in the title update coming soon. So, the first one is improved the discoverability of and added new functionality to multi-swap in the squad screen. So basically what I was saying, in the fact that I've got Boateng in there and I want to swap him out for Hernandez, but I have to send him and then go and retrieve Hernandez. Now it looks like there could be a straight swap option, which is brilliant because that just makes things 10 times quicker. Next point is when on the club tab of the squad screen, players can now turn on multi-swap regardless of how the player entered the tab. So there we go. Multi-swap is active. Players will be able to cycle through the positions in their squad, including the subs and reserves, enabling the ability to swap player items and in all positions without leaving the club tab. So again, when you're on your player select, this is how I interpret it anyway, when you're on your player select option, you can cycle through the players that you already have selected, but then you can replace them with the players that you have in your club, basically, which is great because that's how it should be. I don't understand why it's not. The minimap image on the screen shows which position you are currently selecting and now also includes subs and reserves. So there we go. Yeah, previously it just had a blank thing and it was, yes, just very complicated and just doesn't make any sense. When highlighting a specific position in the squad, there is an option to refresh the search results to update based on the current selected position, which is again something that we had in, I think it's the auto update actually on FIFA 19 and in previous FIFAs in general. Once you switch to that sort of right mid position, it would refresh all of your options to, well, it was that way, wasn't it? Not that way. But yeah, it would refresh all your options into that said position, wouldn't it? Adjustments to player item swapping functionality on the club tab. Basically, they are adding things, they're not removing things. So for the people that actually do like the new user interface, I wouldn't worry too much about them taking away a feature that you enjoy. For instance, the quick way to add like a contract or something, that's actually quite useful. They won't remove that. They're just going to add to this. They won't take away, is the general gist of the whole thing. I'm going to link the whole thing down below if you want to go and read it yourself. There's still a lot of things to mention there. This point here, backing out of a player search while on the club tab of the squad screen will no longer take players to the squad tab, and instead will take them to the club tab. So it's just quality of life changes that they're doing. You know, they're trying to make things a little bit quicker and snappier. They're trying to get you more options to be able to do things quicker, because people have been complaining that they've not been able to complete the 2-player SBCs, for instance, as quickly as they want to. We'll move on from that. You can read that and probably have done already. The next question. In FIFA 20, it is not currently possible to view the requirements for each rank in division rivals, nor is it possible to do the same in squad battles. Is there a plan to address this? Of course, this has been a huge problem early on, in the fact that you know what rank you are, but you don't know how close you are to the rank below or above, and that can be very frustrating. Of course, when you've just started rivals and you want to see, you know, what rank 2 points are, but you're in silver 4, you have to wait to get to rank 3 to find out what the threshold is, which is annoying. And then, of course, you don't know what rank 1 is, so you can't really plan it in your mind. Essentially, what they say there is that it was an oversight on their part, and the first title update will include correcting that problem, so it'll go back to the way it was in FIFA 19. You will be able to see the amount of points required for rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, regardless of where you are on the spectrum, which is awesome. Gameplay changes, here we go. This is the big thing that everybody's been waiting for. So, there has been some frustration from players around certain skill moves not registering correctly. Is this something you are planning to address? The answer is we are working on fixes for skill moves that are targeted for a future title update. Now, they don't actually say the first title update. I would imagine this is going to take a little while to implement. Basically, when some people have been trying to perform a skill move, it hasn't been registering. I want to tie into that passing and shooting delay is also a part of that problem. So if they can fix the skill move registry, or registering, or whatever, responsiveness, maybe that will in turn have a knock-on effect on passing and shooting, and it will be a little bit better. I don't have a problem that it puts me off playing the game, or it makes me that upset that I get, I want to go on a rant about it. But when you're in front of goal and you press shoot, and then he just takes a little bit too long to do it for no reason, that irritates me. So that does come into the same sort of category, I guess. Where's my mouse? There it is. So, another question. Are there any plans to increase the effectiveness of headers or improve the chances of having a successful header? In particular, scoring goals from headers off of crosses or corners seems very challenging so far in FIFA 20. Now, I'm not going to read the whole answer, and I'm sure a lot of you will be anticipating this. The short answer is no. They're not going to touch headers. Basically, they don't want another FIFA 19, as essentially what they've said here, and they don't want to rock the boat, and that they feel that headers are relatively balanced. Now, I have conceded a few headers, I have scored a few headers. In fact, the very first corner that I had on the game, I scored direct from the corner with a header, and I thought, oh, here we go again. But to be fair, headers are very much hit or miss, and I'm alright with it that way. Do you know what? I've had enough of headers for 1 year. I think we can all appreciate that and just go back to playing on the floor. But if enough people complain, you never know in the future what might happen. But for right now, they do not plan on improving the headers or the heading situation. Defensive clearances seem like they are much weaker in FIFA 20. Are there plans to address this? Again, I'm not going to read the whole thing. The short answer is no, they're not planning to address this. The reason they're not going to address it is because we've been pressing the wrong button. You don't use pass to clear the ball out of the box anymore. You have to just get it out. So use the shoot button. I wouldn't recommend using the cross button because it is also the slide tackle button. Accidents happen. So yeah, I would be using the shoot button B or circle to just clear the ball out of the penalty area from a cross, from a corner, and so on and so forth. It is so tempting to just try and pass it out of danger. But if you watch professional football, 9 times out of 10, unless they're under pressure, of course, unless they're not under pressure, they will just get it out of the area. They won't look for a pass. They will just smash it out. And that's exactly what we should be doing. Regroup, reposition, and then look to take the ball that way as opposed to trying to pass it out from the back. Of course, if you're not under pressure, feel free to pass out from the back, right? But I've been doing it wrong as well. I've given up so many goals because I've tried to pass it out. The passes aren't as strong, so they're not going to work as well, basically. So there you go. Another question. Are there any plans to release changes or fixes to goalkeepers, specifically around the manner by which they are punching the ball in situations where they could be catching it, or with the type of rebounds that they are giving away? Now, this is a huge thing. This is probably the biggest problem with FIFA 20, because there aren't that many, to be fair, but this is definitely one of the biggest. The answer: there are a number of updates and fixes that we have been working on that are targeting for release, in future title update, which, English is difficult, with a specific focus on the areas mentioned. So basically, yeah, we're going to fix rebounds is what they're trying to say. How they're going to fix it, whether they just improve the catching percentage of a goalkeeper by, I don't know, 10, 20% or something, who knows? We don't know. But either way, they're aware of the bug or the problem or the issue, and they are trying to fix it in a future title update. They didn't actually mention if it would be the next title update, so we have to wait on that one. And of course, they did mention that there are several fixes and future. They did say update, not updates. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The final question: when can we expect the first title update with gameplay changes? And can you provide any insight into what will be contained in that update? The answer: providing a specific date or time for when a title update will release is not something we do, as we are often reliant on things outside of our control to deliver against a specific date. That being said, you can expect that a title update which contains gameplay updates will be arriving within the next week or two. So, Weekend League is on the 4th of October, the first Weekend League. We've had it confirmed within the game. If you meet the points requirements and you go to the Foot Champions tab, it will ask you to register, and then it will give you a time or a countdown clock until the next tournament, which is the 4th of October. I will be very surprised if we get a title update before the 8th of October, which is after the first Weekend League. Now, if you're on PC, you will know that we get title updates a week early. And I say we because I am on PC myself. So, if the title update doesn't come on the 1st of October, then it won't be coming to the console on the 8th. It'll be the week after. Because title updates are always on a Tuesday. There's never any exception. It is always a Tuesday. It always has been a Tuesday. So, we'll find out on the 1st whether PC get the update. If they do, it's coming to console on the 8th. If they don't, then who knows, we have to wait another week. But they haven't mentioned anything about speed, which is phenomenal, which means it's not on their radar to change. They've not mentioned anything about dribbling, which I know a few people are going to be complaining about, but I'm happy about because I actually really like the dribbling this year. Defending as well, they've not mentioned anything about that, which again is good because I like the defending. I'm not very good at it, but it is rewarding in certain areas. I suppose in a way, there are a few little things with defending that I wouldn't mind them tweaking. The successfulness of a tackle is a little bit off right now. You can go in for a challenge and still not come out with the ball, despite the fact that you've gone in there, proper block tackled, and the opponent just sort of walks through you. It's not as bad as 19, that's for damn sure, but it's still an issue. Player switching is something else that I wouldn't mind them taking a look at. But, I mean, in general, I am pleased with the game, and I feel like that the change that they've stated above, and the lack thereof as well, because I don't want them changing an awful lot. So they're not changing crosses and corners, which is fantastic. There's no need to. And obviously they want to fix rebounds. So, you know, it's a good start. It is a good start. I just want to read that top one on Volta, because I've not read further down, but it says, some in the community have questioned if microtransactions are coming to Volta. Is this true? So the answer is, as we shared before, we don't have any monetization in Volta Football at launch. We've built the game so that in the future we could add in-game purchases if we felt they would add to the experience of players. In the meantime, we're excited for everyone to get in the game and tell us what they think of the new mode, including ways we might make it more enjoyable. Now, I'm not going to read any more about Volta because I don't care about it, but I am 100% expecting this year's Volta to be the test platform for future Ultimate Team Volta modes. So much like last year with house rules and King of the Hill, all that good stuff in friendlies that we have this year. Last year it wasn't in Ultimate Team, it was only available in single player. They wanted feedback, they've tweaked accordingly, and now they've added it to Ultimate Team, which I believe to be a good positive move. Volta, I think, is going to be exactly the same. Either they will add microtransactions to Volta for in-game purchases such as boots and shorts and whatever, clothes in general, right? I think next year they may add it to Ultimate Team and have separate squads. Well, not separate squads, but they'll have, you can use your players in Volta, and of course maybe they're only Volta specific cards, or they might be Volta specific cards, so that's a way of monetizing it. But maybe they'll still have it as a separate game entity as well. We'll have to wait and see. But I honestly think this is a testing ground for Volta because it's the first season, and expect it to be 100% monetized next year because they know people are enjoying it and they want to try and get the most out of it. And that's fair enough. And I don't have a problem. If they added it to Ultimate Team, I'd be happy, especially if they added some sort of reward structure to it as well. That would be kind of cool. But that's going to do it for me today. Thought I'd go through that. So there is an update coming either on Tuesday this week or Tuesday next week, in my opinion, at the very latest. I say at the very latest the week after. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be the 8th. I think this Tuesday coming will be the PC update, and then the week after will be the console update. That's how I think it's going to go. We'll have to wait and see, but they're going to fix rebounds, hopefully, and they're not going to do an awful lot else. Some improvements to UI and things, which is awesome, but I'm glad. One thing at a time. Let's tweak here or there. Let's not make any drastic changes. Let's not do another FIFA 19. I say do another FIFA 19. Let's not do another FIFA, because they do this every year, so hopefully it's not that bad. But if there's anything that's not on the list that you think should be on the list, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you're excited about the forthcoming update, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.